Hi everyone, I'm Andy Asher, writer, editor, content producer, and host of Content Lab TV. Now, one of the biggest challenges for businesses and organizations is effectively engaging with prospects. Now, while social media is the first thing that pops to mind, it takes a combination of trial and error, testing, and discovery to succeed at it. Now, this week, we talk with a guy who has done it all. He is founder of a leading media company used by college students and recent graduates who are looking for great careers. It's called College Recruiter. Its founder is Steve Rothberg. So, Steve, it's great having you here. Your clients, as we say, are colleges, universities, and employers who want to recruit students and recent grads. Now, it would seem social media would be perfect for that, but I'm sure there's more than meets the eye.
Sure. So social media is a really integral part of what College Recruiter does. We believe that every student and recent graduate deserves a great career, and reaching those students and graduates and connecting them with employers through a variety of means is really important. So a lot of old folks like me will say, oh, well, these young adults, they're just on social media the whole time. And that's definitely not true, but it definitely is a place where younger adults tend to congregate, as well as those of us who are a couple of years out of college. But social media is certainly a popular destination, whether you're talking Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you can call LinkedIn a social media site, which I don't, but it is a very effective way, those sorts of sites are a very effective way of reaching both the employers that advertise their job openings on our site and the candidates that use our site to find internships and entry-level jobs. And one of the nice things about social is that it provides an opportunity for one person who might be engaged with the content that we're providing to then share that content easily with their friends, family members, coworkers, etc. And we've seen a fair amount of that.
Good point. The sharing capability is really such an important benefit of social media. So you clearly have lots of moving parts with your social media. You not only have to coordinate who and where you're pushing it out to, but also coordinate incoming messages. How do you keep everything organized and done in a timely fashion?
One of the primary tools that we use to try to pull everything together is Hootsuite. It allows them to monitor. We have two main Twitter accounts, at Stephen Rothberg, which we use that primarily to connect with our employer clients, and at Entry Level Job, which we use primarily to connect with the candidates that are using our site. So in basically one platform, I can easily keep an eye on tweets that are going out, some of which are manual, some of which are automated, and we do that through an RSS feed from the job postings on our site and the WordPress-powered blog. And also the mentions, if somebody talks about College Recruiter, whether or not they're using our Twitter handles, we'll likely see that. And then we also keep an eye on our competitors. What are people saying about them? What are they saying about themselves? And to date, I haven't found anything negative. It's not so much of keeping an eye on them in case they say something terrible, but it's really learning from your competitors, and it makes all of us better. I suspect that they're watching us and learning about us too, and that's great. As far as Facebook, I spend way too much time on Facebook. I guess it's better to be addicted to Facebook than cigarettes. But I will be checking our page. I have the Facebook Pages app on my phone. So if somebody posts something to our page or sends us a question or something along those lines, I get notified. And according to Facebook, we get back to people within an average of 57 minutes, which when you're thinking about 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to get back to people within an hour, and we have traffic globally, I think we're doing pretty well with that. When people do direct message us or mention us on Twitter, we're going to use that Hootsuite platform to respond back, to like what they've posted, to retweet it, etc. LinkedIn isn't as easy to kind of monitor that way. We can do it through Hootsuite, but the functionality just isn't as good. So what we tend to do with LinkedIn is just literally log in there multiple times a day. LinkedIn has become much less of a place where there are conversations and much more of somebody standing on a soapbox and kind of blasting out their opinions. I don't see a lot of conversations since they kind of gutted their groups, maybe 6 months ago or so.
Yes, now that LinkedIn has been acquired by Microsoft, one has to wonder if it will change that perception. Then, of course, there's YouTube. How has that worked out for you? And also, how do you handle negative comments in the effort to maintain transparency that seems like a very narrow line to follow?
YouTube's been great for sharing videos. We get a lot of shares, a lot of likes. We've got about 2.5 million views to something like 450 videos. I'm a little bit nervous about the conversations that happen on YouTube because some of them get real bigoted real quickly for no apparent reason. So far, we really haven't had much of that. When we do, we just do our best to get rid of those comments and block it. We're not a free-for-all, have whatever conversation you want kind of platform. We do want the conversations to be productive. And insulting broad masses of people because of the way they walk or the color of their skin is not consistent with what we do. Say that there's a job seeker who had a bad experience on College Recruiter, or perhaps with one of the employers that we work with, we absolutely would leave that comment up. And depending upon the comment, we might address it, we might not. If it's somebody who's just venting, I came to your site, it's a bunch of crap, I couldn't find anything that was of interest to me. We're just going to leave it because there's nothing really that we can say to respond to that person. They're probably just very frustrated with their own career and they're just venting. However, if they post something that is somewhat constructive, I came to your site and this page wouldn't load, or I clicked this button and it didn't work, or I was looking at this job posting ad and I think it's fraudulent. We definitely are going to be responding to those, and we do that very quickly.
That's a good point. Timeliness is so important. Many times that there are unexpected benefits to promptly responding to the social media comments. Haven't you found that answers to one person's comments benefit others?
Yeah, Annie, I totally agree. If one person has that comment, there are probably 10 more out there who were thinking the same thing but didn't say anything. And you can also save a lot of time on the customer service side. If one person raises a concern about something, something good, bad, ugly, whatever it might be, again, there are probably other job seekers, other candidates, other users that have that same issue. And by posting it quickly in a clear, concise manner, then you might prevent the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth person from emailing or calling, and then that just sucks up staff time. So they get their answer faster and better, and we save on staff time. Everybody wins. So social's great for that.
Now, everyone talks about the importance of maintaining a two-way conversation with your community, and I think everyone understands the importance of that. However, it is a labor-intensive job, but applications like Hootsuite and Buffer and several others help automate the process and are definitely handy and efficient. However, it's still so important to manually communicate too.
Yeah, I look at a platform like Twitter and I see sort of two different models from a lot of companies. And one model is just push, and it's kind of a public relations tool, just pushing out information of all different kinds. And we definitely do that. Then the other model is to definitely engage and to try to have two-way conversations. And I think that we are getting better at that. I think we're better at the first than the second. The second's harder. To have somebody who is able to write in a voice and to provide information that hopefully multiple times a day is posting information of interest to people, that's hard. One of the things we did this past fall is we hired a content manager, and she's done a lot of that work for us, and it's really paid huge dividends. The sharing that we have on the social platforms, including LinkedIn, if you can call it social, is way up, and the number of people who are then clicking through to our site to read blog articles, job postings, etc., is also way up. I can tell you, at least from our experience, if we if we post a blog article to, say, Twitter, and do it in an automated way, we use FeedBlitz for that, that tweet is unlikely to get retweeted, and it is unlikely to have anybody click on that link. However, if we post exactly the same content manually, we will get a bunch of retweets and we will get a bunch of clicks. So I think what's happening is that Twitter is favoring manually posted content over automated posting content, which is smart. From our own standpoint, I would love it if they basically forced everybody else to be manual and let us be automated. But from a user standpoint, I think the reality is if there's a real human being there that's taking the time to post content, it is likely to be more relevant than if it's fully automated. With what you were saying with images and colors is that the short little videos that we'll do for YouTube, say a 3-minute tip on how to conduct a telephone interview. When we post that video to Twitter,
educational stuff.
Yeah, and when we post that video to Twitter, that video shows up very well on Twitter. We manually post it. We'll get a lot of people watching that video on Twitter and then retweeting it. We can see if that video is, say, 2 days old, we might have 5 people viewing it. We post it to Twitter, we'll get 40 people. The number of views will go up to 40 within just an hour or two. So people definitely are watching YouTube videos on Twitter.
I think that is a great point, and what you say adds value to the importance of sharing the videos on all the social media, especially Twitter.
I don't have any good data around that, but anecdotally I see over and over and over again, when we post a video to YouTube, we'll have very often single-digit views for a couple of days, and then we'll then share that on Twitter, and it will go into the dozens within just an hour or two. So, yeah, I mean, that's one of those ones where I would say it's highly correlated, and probably there's pretty good causation there too. I just can't prove it.
So we've talked about Facebook and Twitter a lot. Talk about how you've considered using other social media with your company, collegerecruiter.com. You want to engage with your entire audience, but you only have so many resources to do it. Now, you've mentioned LinkedIn a lot. Why is that?
And the people who are the most active on LinkedIn tend to be our customers. It's not a very effective tool for us to engage with the candidates, with the students and grads. There's a very, very high percentage of students and grads who have created an account on LinkedIn. But they don't seem to be nearly as well engaged with it as the people who are, say, in their maybe 30s, certainly 40s and 50s, who are the hiring managers, the recruiters, the HR managers. And now we've been looking at Snapchat, we've been looking at Instagram. It's difficult for a couple of reasons. I'm definitely not saying no, but it's kind of, we want to go into it with a good strategy. So one thing is, like every other organization, we have limited resources. Do we take resources away from something else to put that towards Snapchat and Instagram? And if so, what do we take away? What do we say, you know what, this is no longer working, this never worked, whatever the case may be? That's one struggle. Another struggle would be just what content do we share? So, both platforms lend themselves to highly visual. I struggle at times to think of photographs or something along those lines, short videos of 10 seconds that would really appeal to a job seeker. And I just can't imagine that very many employers are going to be engaged on Snapchat. Instagram somewhat because of the nice integration with Facebook, but I think for, again, some businesses, they would be fantastic. I could see a gallery doing extremely well. Maybe even like a bookstore. Look what old book just came in today, and to hold that up and to kind of something that is highly visual that people will grasp in a split second. I think that would be incredibly compelling. A flower shop. something along those lines.
You really have to analyze each platform for how it best relates to what you're doing. Steve, it's been great having you here and talking to you. Leave us with this. Where do you see your social media focus is headed?
I feel like YouTube forever has been this sleeping giant. And we're really embracing video. A couple years ago, that became part of our key strategy. If you go to our site, tens of thousands of the job postings on our site now have video embedded into them. So we'll take an employer's job posting ad and embed their YouTube video. You know, what's it like to work at blank company? There's one company that we work with that's in rural Arkansas, and their big selling feature is rural Arkansas. If you like to hunt, fish, and the outdoors and that type of outdoor activity, there aren't very many places in the world that are better. So their big selling feature is move to rural Arkansas because look at the majestic environment that we've got here for you. The fact that we've got an office building that's just like everybody else's, who cares? I think that's really smart. It really helps the students and grads better understand the work they're going to be doing, the environment in which they're going to be doing it, who they're going to be doing it with. So I'm very optimistic as far as the social platforms go, but I think we're going to see YouTube become more social and more relevant.
It sounds like you're putting your long-term money on video, and I agree, especially since our name is Content Lab TV with our emphasis on video. Steve, it's great having you here. Again, that's Steve Rothberg. He is founder of collegerecruiter.com. Social media is understandably a key to their growth. Their website is collegerecruiter.com. Thanks for watching or listening, and sign up for our newsletter to get all the latest news and tips about content on social media. See you next time.